Does Bitcoin work? Yes. Really work? Yes. Pay dividends? No. Trade 24/7? Yes. Have a future? Yes. Have value? Now that's an interesting question. Disclaimer at the beginning, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm just one person with one opinion. Also, beware of scams. Now, does Bitcoin have value? Excellent question. Let's dive in. Okay, so let's think about this. Bitcoin by itself, does it have value? The quick and easy answer would be no. It does not have value. It's just some data stored somewhere in the internet. At many places, but yet it's just data. So it doesn't provide you any value for like your immediate needs. Like you cannot eat it. It doesn't provide you with shelter. It doesn't provide you with any security. Doesn't stop you from getting cold, doesn't stop you from getting hot. You know, it just, I mean, if you're mining, it stops you from getting cold, but that's another story. So by itself, one would say, doesn't have value. But then, this stuff, does that have value? Because by itself, it's the same thing, isn't it? It doesn't provide me with shelter. I cannot eat it. I mean, theoretically I can eat it. It's just not very, I don't even want to demonstrate. Don't know who had that in their hands before. But the perceived difference with this is that, oh, I can buy something that I can eat, and I can buy something that provides me with shelter, and I can buy something that will give me security, and I can buy something that keeps me warm and cold and whatever I need. Right? The only reason we can buy something with that is because it's uniformly accepted in our society that this has value. Even though it by itself does not have value. The paper itself, even though it's pretty nice paper, but it doesn't really have value. It has value because we all agree that it has value. If we would suddenly agree that the euro or the dollar doesn't have any value anymore, for instance due to hyperinflation or something, then suddenly, well, worthless. Look at Venezuela, what they're doing with their money. So ultimately, I can get my potatoes or whatever I want because the potato salesperson accepts this and accepts that this has value. Now, if my potato salesperson was into crypto, he might also accept crypto payments. And I might be able to pay for my potatoes with Bitcoin. That's only a theoretical example because Bitcoin doesn't want to be a currency, it wants to be a store of value. But let's not be too specific here. So essentially, something has value if somebody else is willing to provide you some goods or services in exchange for that thing, whether that be euros, gold, or Bitcoin. So as long as you find somebody on the planet who is willing to accept your Bitcoin in exchange for something else, Bitcoin will have value. And at the moment there are quite a lot of people, me included, who are willing to accept Bitcoin because they think that it has value, even though it by itself does not have value. But since the collective decided, hey, that thing has value now, that thing has value now. And that might sound weird to you, but let me bring you back to this. Isn't it the exact same thing? Somebody just decided that this has value. The only difference was that in this case, it was a state, or rather a union of states. Also with the dollar, Union of States decided that thing is what we're gonna use to represent value now. And for the longest time that has been going great. And for young people like us, or like even everybody who's like alive now, it still might seem like the dollar has been around forever. The euro hasn't. I can remember when the euro was founded and came into circulation. But the dollar, you know, that's been around. And fiat currencies, I mean, those have been around for forever, right? Like for as long as our civilization existed, right? Not really. If you think about it, it's quite new. Even the dollar is not that old. And because we think that it has been around forever, we might assume that it will stay forever. But I want to challenge that thought. It will not stay forever. Currencies fail. And the dollar, even though it's the most popular one at the moment, does not mean that it's gonna stay that way. especially with all that money printing that they're currently doing. And you see the purchasing power of the dollar, that's going down. Contrary to Bitcoin, which purchasing power is like rapidly going up. But again, Bitcoin, very young, could also fail as every currency or store of value. But it's about the adoption. The more people give it value, the more value it will have. So does Bitcoin have value? At the moment, yes. Will it always have value? We don't know. Probably not. At some point it will fail as well. But will it stick around longer than the dollar? Personally, I think so. And that's why I hold a significant portion of my net worth in Bitcoin. And with that, I wish freedom and health to you. I hope you learned something or at least got an idea of an opinion. Now you can do your own research and form your own opinion, because that's what this is about. Just providing you with some fruit of thought, right? Food of thought? Fruits for thought? Whatever. And isn't it the exact same thing for gold? It only has value because people decided that it has value. You cannot eat gold. I mean, again, you can, but it doesn't really help you with hunger. You cannot drink gold. I mean, you can, but you're gonna get fucking burned. It doesn't provide you with shelter, unless you have really a lot of it. And even then, it's not good shelter. It has value because we agreed that it has value. And we could agree that it has value because A, it's rare, and B, it's uniformly distributed across the planet. If all the gold was in, say, Switzerland, then only the Swiss would agree that gold is worth something, and the rest of the world would be like, that's the gold. And there used to be the gold standard, but that's not there anymore. Let me give you one more example. This thing. Hold on. This is a €0 banknote. Now, per the definition of the number 0, it should have 0 value. Am I right? Yet, some people pay money for that. I won't tell you who. So, apparently for some people, it does have value. Even though the intrinsic value is still 0. I cannot eat it, I cannot drink it, it doesn't provide me with shelter. I can, however, wipe my ass with it. So that's something. You know, in a crisis where toilet paper is in demand, I mean, you can use that sort of stuff to wipe your behind. I mean, absolutely. Not what I was saying. It doesn't even... Oh, it does have a number. It does have a number. It's an official euro note. Think about it. It does not have value, yet it has value. To some people. It's the same with like a collector's value. Think of art. Does art have value? Yes, but only because some people assign value to it. Does it have the actual value that some art is sold for? Like if an art piece is sold for several million, does it have that value? Well, yeah, but maybe only to that one person who bought it. With Bitcoin, the value might not be that ridiculously high just yet. Yeah, I do think that at some point we'll get to 1 million or more. Just a question of time. And adoption. Or we fail. Can also happen. If we go back to near 0, could happen. But I'm seeing the chances for upward much better than for downward, so you know, I'm invested. It might not be that high just yet, is what I was saying. But therefore, there are quite a few people around the globe, including institutions, who are willing to buy your Bitcoin. Thus, it has value. My opinion, you're welcome. But get that, it just has value because people say it has value. This freaking thing just has value because some state, or union of states, said that it has value. And the difference for now with that thing compared to Bitcoin or gold is that the government accepts this for payment of taxes. And just because Bitcoin is digital, come on, this can also be digital. If I go to the bank, put it there, then it's also just digital. This is also just a representation of something digital that's somewhere in a bank ledger. So Bitcoin being digital is not an argument. And we are going in that direction that all money is going to be digital. So might as well have it be Bitcoin. So yeah, I mean, with this stuff, you have the guarantee from the government that it is worth something. So the government is behind that. But that doesn't mean that it's gonna keep that value. They just guarantee that you can still use it as a matter of payment. They don't say that you will be able to buy the same stuff in 10 years down the road, because you won't be. Welcome to inflation. And just saying, it's also not the case with Bitcoin, just that Bitcoin is by itself deflationary. As a pure store of value, it's supposed to hold the same purchasing power as I put in, which the euro and the dollar doesn't. With Bitcoin, since we're still in the early stages, it might increase in purchasing power still, because more and more people learn about it and more people want to have that. And there is just that many. But I think I've ranted enough for now. I think I made the main points. There we have it. That's why I think Bitcoin has value. Long video for a simple answer. Freedom and health to you. And make a backup. And then invest in Bitcoin. Or don't. Make your own decisions.